A very good morning to everyone. Today we like to talk about the case study about forklift incident. We are from group 3. Our members have Azlin, Camilla, me, Benjamin, Junjie. So now I would like to explain about the introduction. Industrial accident is any accident that happens to a person in the course of their work that results in injury. The type of industrial accident varies so widely, it is hard to say exactly what caused them. There's a lot of cause that may happen incident, which is when they are walking, they try to taking shortcut, or they have working at a poor management space, and so on. An example is an incident in a factory in which a victim suffered serious injury and his lower limbs were subsequently amputated. That's all for me. Thank you.
Very good morning. So for the industrial incident, this incident was happened in 23 March 2020 at Jurong, Singapore. This incident was happened because of a forklift driver drove forward despite having his vision blocked and into a man who was crossing his path. Priyasamy, who is a forklift driver, was employed by Sembcorp Marine as a supervisor. He also has a valid driver license for forklift. At about 3:30 p.m. that day, Priyasamy loaded a concrete block along with wooden wedge into the forklift at the dry dock, but the item blocked his vision, blocked his line of vision. At that time, the victim, Mr. Silvergaperman, a subcontractor of Sembcorp Marine who was working at the site, was heading to the toilet. Priyasamy then reversed the forklift while looking back. However, he realized at that point that he would hit some paint can if he reversed further. So he decided to move the forklift forward despite not being able to see in front of him. And at that time also, the victim who was heading to the toilet noticed that the forklift moved his direction at slow speed, and he decided it was safe enough to walk across the path. However, the forklift picked up speed after the victim had to take a few steps. Suddenly, the concrete block hit his left hip, causing him to fall backward into the ground. So Priyasamy stepped on the brake, but the forklift was unable to stop due to the weight. The victim conveyed due to the Ng Teng Fong General Hospital, but he was transferred to the National University Hospital where his legs were amputated. He was hospitalized at National University for 11 days. Priyasamy unrepresented plead for the court leniency through a court interpreter. He asked for a lighter sentence or fine so that he could return home as soon as possible because he is a breadwinner for his family. Therefore, he's been jailed for 2 weeks. That's all for me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I bid to group3 and fellow friends. So I will continue our presentations by explaining about damage and losses that occur during forklift accident in Singapore. Due to the occurrence of this accident, there are few damage and losses such as injuries, death, and loss of properties suffered by the employee, their family, or even the company itself. Fortunately, there are no deaths reported in this accident. Referring to this accident, the worst damage has been suffered by the victim, which is the employee of the company who experienced serious injuries and his lower limbs were subsequently amputated and was hospitalized for 11 days. This will affect his daily activities. In fact, he will no longer be able to work because of the disability he suffered, and the victim's family will lose their source of income. Next, as for the accused, he has been jailed for 2 weeks as he pleaded guilty to a charge of causing grievous hurt via a negligent act endangering human life. After reviewing the entire case, we know that the accused did not do it intentionally. In fact, he didn't know if the victim was standing in front of the forklift when he moved forward, but he still could have been jailed up to 2 years or fined up to 5,000 ringgit or both. There are also an indirect losses that we notice, which is the accused may be fired for having endangered and caused injury to another employee. The accused may have difficulty finding a new job because of the offence that has been committed. While for the company, they could have been fined for the charge of failing to ensure that his employers comply with the Act. The Workplace Safety and Health Act mandates that it is the responsibility of the employer to ensure the safety and health of their employees at the workplace. Failure to do so could result in a fine of up to 5,000 ringgit.
Next, I will going to continue the presentation with the analysis of hazard and assessment. So at first, what is hazard? Hazard is a potential source of harming or damage to a human, property, or environment. So in this case study, we are going to focus on the hazard that faced by the workers in the case. In my opinion, the first hazard was the forklift unable to stop because of driving too fast. It may potentially to hit the workers on the path, and this happen might caused by many reasons. And I think the main reason would be the company did not provide the correct training for the workers, for the driver. Next, unsecure load was also a hazard. The forklift carried the overweight cargo might cause falling due to unstable. And the falling cargo might hit the workers and cause injury or death. For the last hazard we find out in this case was the forklift unable to brake while driving due to, due to lack of maintenance, and this will harm the workers as well as the driver.
There are some ways to prevent forklift accidents and promote warehouse safety, which is to keep on training the skill. OSHA requires companies to have a safety training program for any forklift operator, but it is in the business interest to provide training on forklift safety to all employees working around the forklift. Refreshment training once a year, in addition to training new employees, ensures everyone is on the same page. Next, the company should conduct an adequate risk assessment and safe work procedures for forklift-related activities. This is important because an adequate risk assessment for the forklift can prevent the forklift losing control and cause injuries. The safe work procedures for forklift-related activities are necessary provided to all forklift operators to prevent injuries. Other than that, that is to maintain loading and unloading procedures. Heavy or poorly staged loads, high speeds, or an unmaintained loading dock can contribute to forklift accidents. This condition can lead to a common type of forklift accident, Therefore, enforce a maximum speed for forklift operation throughout a warehouse and ensure drivers use extreme caution in the loading dock area. Last but not least, the company should enhance safety mechanism around the workplace area. Design a warehouse that ensures safety in the focus for everyone involved in the process. For example, provide a special place to park the forklift so that the workers can park and secure the forklift at the end of the day. This will prevent others from accidentally walking into it. Every company must have appropriate safety measures in place that are critical to prevent the injuries and reduce the risk of fatalities. I think that's all from us. Thank you for your time and your attention.